Hello, again, I'm Sifu Matt Lovio. Welcome back again to my Chin-Ah series here on the net. Again, we'll be presenting to you the sixth technique of CEA, or the late great Grandmaster David German's brand of Chin-Ah. This technique I'm very excited to show you because it's one of my fancy. It's kind of like a fancy technique, but also an effective one. The one that can get the job done. Sadly, unfortunately, you will find that it won't be as practical or quite frankly as demonstrative as the other techniques, even though it looks fancy. But it does work. It depends upon you and the situation. I find it's very good for anyone in law enforcement, whether it's for police, FBI, especially for security rules. Since I'm security guard, a licensed security guard, very handy. Okay, this technique will be called Praying Mantis Climbs the Pagoda. Again, once again, that is Praying Mantis Climbs the Pagoda, and you'll see pretty much why these techniques are called that. Again, I'm going to go off with the prefacing techniques, the linking chain, the linking set, if you will, of the techniques, and then I'll show you the application. Okay, I'm going to show you from the frontal view again. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you from a different angle, from this angle, going to the diagonal angle over here. Alright, let's do the technique by itself so I can isolate it and see what it is. And if you notice, when I do the technique, I'm stepping back with my left leg, and at the same time, I'm circling in with my left hand. And then, I'm going to circle in with my right hand, and then at the same time, I'm going to step forward with my left foot, plant, and then from here, I'm going to do this one more time. One more time. Circle in, left hand, step back with left leg, circle in, right hand, step forward, left leg again, together, right hand down, left hand up, and this. Now, what is that? Why are we doing this? Let me show you. Okay, ready? All right. Again, I just want to preface this technique by saying, my teacher, the late great Grandmaster David German, he said this technique could be used for a myriad of applications. He liked to pride it that the technique, this technique could also be used against a knife thrust or a knife attack. I do not wish to insult my late teacher. He was a very nice man, very kind man. You know, willing to teach me and all his other students. Phenomenal teacher, a teacher's teacher. But sadly, unfortunately, there were a lot of things I did have to disagree with him. This is one of the many things, a so-called knife attack, and you'll see why I would never agree with this technique to be for a knife defense. Maybe for you, and if you could actually do such a thing, I envy you. I can't do it. Let's watch the technique. Again, Freddy's going to be attacking me with my left lapel right here. He's going to grab me with his right arm. Again, he's going to have a nice good grip. And then from here, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm not going to necessarily chop down, but it looks like I'm going to roll with him as if it's like I'm rolling dough on the kitchen table. If you want, I'm rolling out dough with a rolling pin. I'm going to hit and roll with him. And my left arm is going to go once again on that crux, on the inside bending part of his arm. And then watch this. And since my left hand is sticking out with the fingers going this way, I'm going to now what? Scoop under. I'm going to go under his armpit. And watch this. At the same time as this hand is still holding on. Notice my hand is still holding on here because I want to know where it is at all times. I'm going to at the same time go like this, my right hand, to his face. I'm going to go for his nose. Watch where my pointing finger, my index finger, my pointing finger. It's going to go directly under his nose. And I'm going to step back at the same time. Watch what I do, and there I go. Here's my come along. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Freddy's going to grab me this way. Again, I'm going to do that rolling pin type of thing with my hand. I'm not going to chop. I'm going to roll grab the crux there, go under his arm, and at the same time, my hand's going to go towards his face. Pull back, and there we go. Did you see what I did? Let's get a close-up. You may not be able to see it, but I'll be targeting right here, Freddy's shoulder, the shoulder capsule where the collarbone and the arm and the upper humerus, the upper arm bone meet together. I'm going to be targeting that shoulder, and you will feel yourself that pain. Oh, I can feel it already just doing that, pulling up myself. That's how potent it is. Imagine I'm doing it to myself. Imagine the poor Freddy. So with your training partner, please go easy on them. Don't, if you're having a bad day, don't, one thing too, I'm sorry, Freddy, just a moment. Before I go any further, if you heard me mention this before in any videos, when you train with someone, if you're having a bad day, do me a favor. Do your partner a favor. Don't take it out on your partner. It happens to all of us, especially me, because why? It's called life. We all tend to have bad days. There's always some jerk who cuts us off in traffic. Oh, that idiot, getting you so angry. There's always someone you go to your local supermarket, and there could be like a little old lady like buying 20 items in the 15 item or less line, and unfortunately she buys a bunch of cat food cans, and then at the last minute I have to pay by check. Oh, by the way, I forgot my license. I have no ID, and she wants to pay with check. We have all these days. It could be anything and everything that gets us so mad. It could be like some coworkers who bug you at your work. But you know what? Just because you're having a bad day does not mean your training partner ever deserves to have that. Because again, if you're having a bad day and you're taking it out on them, they're not going to want to train with you. And quite frankly, I won't blame them. So if you have any problems, don't take it out on them. And if you think if you're such in a mad, pent-up mood, it's a good idea. Don't train that day. Train the next day when you've calmed down and you're feeling better. Because your training partner does not ever deserve the abuse or you're about to give upon them. Because again, it's a bad, because having a bad day does not give you license to take it out on the world. Okay? So one last time here too. When you notice, when I show the technique, we're just going to go through the mechanics. When I go through the mechanics, again, when I use my right hand and I roll it in and I target the crux, the inner bending crux of his arm here, and I'm going to go like this, my fingers pointing this way, I'm going to go under his armpit, and notice that when I come up in here, I can target either his nose, right here, like the nose capsule right there, at the, up here, his upper lip, or if I want, I could target right there at the center of like where his eyebrows are, and do this and pull backwards. Or one of my favorites, I'll do this, where I'll take my middle finger and my pointing finger, and I'll do both. Middle finger under his nose, and my pointing finger right there at his brow, with a unibrow there, and do this at the same time and lock up. That's another thing too. Do not ever go towards the mouth. Do not go under the mouth and the chin, or especially near the mouth, because watch what will happen. He'll bite on it, and you don't want anybody's germs going into your fingers, your hand, or anything. Can you say tetanus shot? No, you don't want that. Again, you could do that. Try to stay away from the forehead, because if you try to do the forehead on a hot day like this, sweat it may sweat off like that. Okay? Thank you, Freddie. All right. So one last time, let's do it real quickly. I'm going to do it from this angle. Demonstration of the linking set. Farmable Units Yo. Little child down to Pagoda. Unlocking the door to open the gate. Soldier salutes the general. Grab the horn to control the bowl. And training Mantis Climbs the Pagoda. I have to apologize. Ladies and gentlemen. If you notice when I did the techniques before, I was kind of screwing up where you may have seen me do it the left side and the right hand up like that. You could do it either side, but guess what? Preferably, do it the right way, the way I was taught. Right hand down, left hand up. I goofed, my bad, I apologize for that. But again, right hand, when you finish the technique, left hand up, right hand down. Alright, until then, that's about it. Always train smarter, not harder. Have fun with it. Take your time. You cannot learn it all in one day. You will not learn it all in one day. You shouldn't try to learn it all in one day. Until then, take care of yourself and all you know and love.